Hi everybody, it's Alexa here from Once Upon a Chapter, and I am here today to talk about the books that I'm going to read for Booktube-a-Thon. So I haven't had a lot of free time lately, which is why I haven't been taking part in all of the awesome readathons going on lately, but I have a 3-day weekend during Booktube-a-Thon here. And it is my birthday weekend, so I kind of just told everybody I'm going to sit at home for the weekend. For Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to read. I'm going to try and read all week long, even though I do have to go to work and I'm on call on Monday and Wednesday night. But I'm going to do the best that I can to make it through some of the challenges. So let's just get directly into the TBR. So the challenges that were picked this time around, the first one is to read a book that has blue on the cover. Pretty much every single book that I picked has some hue or color of blue on it. And the challenge is just, even if it just has a very small amount of blue on it. So one of the books I picked out was P.S. I Still Love You. And there is some blue over here because Jenny Han's name is in blue. And there's also quite a bit of blue on the back of it where they put the little excerpt from the book. So this is a book that I really want to read because I read the first book around the time that it came out. I had some mixed feelings about it, so I'm kind of wanting to see if I read this, is it going to be any better? So there is that. If I don't want to read that, or if that book really isn't working out for me, another book that I picked out to read that also has some blue on the cover is A Thousand Pieces of You. And I've also been wanting to read this one, and it's got a whole bunch of blue up top with the sky and some of the buildings on it, and it's kind of purplish blue on the back. So those are two books that I could potentially read for something that has blue on the cover that I picked specifically to do that. The next one is to read a book by an author who shares the first letter of your last name. My last name starts with a K, and a book that I've been wanting to read for a really long time is Stealing Parker. I own pretty much this entire series. I loved Catching Jordan, but for some reason I just kept putting off reading this one and reading the rest of the series, or rest of the loosely based contemporary series of this one. So I really want to try and read Stealing Parker. It is just barely over 200 pages, so it'll be a nice quick read to get through for the readathon. The next challenge, the third challenge, is to read someone else's favorite book. I asked some people. I asked Stephanie at Once Upon a Chapter here. I asked Johnny, who's my fiance. I, kind of put a thing out on Twitter, and I don't know. People got back to me. Stephanie at first told me, something like Outlander or Pride and Prejudice, and I was like, Outlander is a 900-page book, so that's a little bit long for this. However, she said her original choice was a little obvious to her, but I asked her what it was, and she said Harry Potter. And there's just something about Harry Potter that is nice to read during a readathon, even though the books are very long. So I'm going to kind of just cheat a little bit. I've already read, of course, the entire Harry Potter series. And I'm going to pick my favorite from the Harry Potter series, which is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I started doing a Harry Potter reread, I think 2 or 3 years, I think maybe 3 years ago now, and I've pushed myself through books 1 through 4, not pushed myself because of course I love Harry Potter, but I've gotten through those books in the past couple years that I've been trying to do a reread. But for some reason I stopped at, this chunker because Order of the Phoenix is almost 1,000 pages long and it's the biggest Harry Potter book. But this also fulfills a challenge for blue, just in case I don't read the previous 2 books I picked out, because this entire cover is blue. I'm not planning on reading this entire book, so don't think that. But this is my favorite Harry Potter book. This was the one that I was in love with, and this has always been my favorite of the series, no matter how many times I've reread it. And I've actually reread this book the most out of the entire series. But I love Harry Potter. I know the story very well. I think Harry Potter, especially my favorite one in it, is so easy to get into that it'll help, kind of increase my page count. I'm not necessarily trying to read a ton of books, but at least just read a lot of pages. So there we go. I'm going with Harry Potter for that one, even though I guess that's technically, I'm cheating a little bit on that one. Number 4 is to read The Last Book You Got. Again, I'm going to cheat a little bit on this one because one of the last books that I bought was actually a sequel book to the first book, but I didn't read the first book yet. So I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to read the first book in the series instead. So this is A School for Good and Evil. It's a middle grade book, and each one of the chapter things is a little bit like how Harry Potter is, where it starts off with some type of picture that represents the chapter, and then there's some, you know, other drawings and stuff in here. So it is a middle grade book, so the print is a little bit bigger and it has some pictures in it. So it's pretty big though. It's pretty long. It's almost 500 pages for a middle grade story, but I'm thinking hopefully that it'll be easy enough to get through, just because it has some pictures, and you know, middle grade stories tend to be pretty fast paced. So that's what I picked for that. The fifth challenge is to finish a book without letting go of it. So I have a lot of long books, and so I took one of Johnny's graphic novels that I haven't read yet, and I figured I can read a graphic novel in one sitting, or at least without letting go of it. I still have not read Saga Volume 3, so here we go, here's Saga, and the background on this one is blue, so again, it fulfills, like I said, pretty much all the books I picked have blue on the cover. So I will definitely be reading a book that has blue on the cover, but this will be nice and quick and easy. You know, the graphic novel is not very long, and it's got a lot of pictures involved in it, so this is definitely something that I could read and finish in one little sitting over the course of, you know, 30 minutes or whatever just to read this. So that is my pick for a book that I will not let go of during the readathon. Number 6 is to read a book that you really, really want to read. I could technically double up that challenge and say that I really, really want to read any of these books, because that's also true, but something that I picked out specifically for this challenge, because it's something I want to get to before it comes out, is A Curious Tale of the In-Between. This is another middle grade book, and this book is just, again, barely over 200 pages, and the font on it is, might not be able to easily for you guys to see that, but the font is pretty big on this one. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing what her writing is like. I know she has her YA series, the Wither series, and she's come out with another one since then. And I own The Wither. I own Wither, the first book in that series, and I do own the first book in her other series. I can't think of the name of it, but I'd like to start with one of her middle grades, just to kind of have a shorter, quicker read. And then the last challenge of Booktube-a-Thon is to read 7 books in total. So again, I'm not really shooting to read 7 books, because that's quite a bit of books, especially since I picked a 1,000-page book as my read somebody else's favorite book choice. But all together, with all the books, if I do read both my choices for the book with blue on the cover, 1,000 Pieces of You, and P.S. I Still Love You, I will have read 7 books if I can read all of these books that I picked out, which again, with Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix being 1,000 almost pages, it's probably not going to happen that I read 7 things. But I'm going to shoot for just making my way through as many of these books and completing as many of the challenges as I can, and we'll just see how far I get. So if you guys are doing Booktube-a-Thon and participating, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd also like to see what you guys are reading, so please link me up with your videos or with your pictures or Instagram or whatever you showed your pile on. Bye guys!